I'm John Green, and I'm from Clinton, Tennessee, and I was a sophomore at Clinton High School the year that the school was bombed due to integration. It was chaotic in Clinton. There was rumors of bad things going to happen, and an instigator or white supremacist named John Casper was traveling all over the South speaking out against integration, and he came to Clinton and had several rallies and cross burnings and kind of just antagonized the white people of Clinton to take action and resist integration. And he still to this day is held responsible for a lot that happened, but nobody ever proved that he had anything to do with the bombing. The day that they came to integrate, they were led off of the hill from Foley Hill by the First Baptist Church minister. He was walking out in front of them, and he led them down the school, and they were allowed to enter with no real physical contact with anybody. But later, that preacher was ambushed and beaten pretty severely for his part in the integration process. 3 bombs were exploded inside the school and destroyed it completely. It took them probably 2 or 3 weeks to clean up the debris and allow it to be safely entered. I remember distinctly going in there and having to cross over broken stuff and debris, glass, and to get my stuff out. And once I got my stuff out of my locker was still intact, and I retrieved my stuff. And then after that, we went to Oak Ridge. The school had been converted to a high school, Linden Elementary. The experience at Linden was unusual in that it was constructed for elementary, and things were small. The bathrooms were small, the sinks were small, the drinking fountains were small, and you had to really bend over. Of course, being full-size kids, it was just not constructed for full-size children. So it was a unique experience to go down there, to go to an elementary school, but we survived it. But from then on, it was a fairly normal school year. No more violence occurred with the National Guard being there. They brought tanks and armored vehicles and several thousand National Guardsmen, and they lived in the camp in front of our house in the J.C. Park. And we interacted with them. They would come over and speak to us, and we actually came over and ate ice cream with us one evening. But we became friends with them, and we'd get to go over and talk to them and see their equipment. And it was very interesting at the time, not knowing the severity of what the situation was like. And their cars were turned over, and churches were set on fire, and houses were set on fire, and there was lots of violence in that area. Clinton was a very segregated white community, and they had their own entrance to the theater. They could not go through the front door. There was a sign to the side of the now still existing Ritz Theater that said colored entrance. They could not go through the front door. They had to go through a side door and sit exclusively in the balcony. And things like that. They still couldn't go into restaurants and things like that. In school, they were integrated right in with the rest of us. I mean, they sat beside us and in class with us, and it was between classes where problems would occur in the hallways as they passed each other. But other than that, they sat right side by side with us in school, and nobody thought anything about it. Most people didn't. Later in life, Alfred, one of the Clinton 12 that walked down, he became a real good friend of mine and my wife's. He actually gave me a hat. He knew that I was a Kentucky fan, and he was on a trip one time and bought me a hat, and we became real good friends, and he worked in several areas around, and every time we would see him, we would have a nice conversation, and he was just a very nice gentleman.